Good morning.
Good morning.
It is time for us to leave Burgos, the cathedral behind us, so let's get going.
Today we have 21 kilometers, 13 miles. I think we've got maybe one big hill.
One good size hill.
The question is really, is the Meseta really flat?
Well, we're going to find out today. We're also going to find out how hot it can get on the Meseta. Our temperatures have been really reasonable, I think. But today, as we enter the Meseta, this cold snap that they've had is kind of ending. And for the next week, we're looking at highs in the upper 80s to low 90s every single day.
And full sun. So is there shade on this Meseta? I sure hope so.
Vamos.
Let's go.
At the end of this park is this little dark corridor with the monastery on one side, the gates, the wall. Does it look familiar? I'll give you a second. Can you place it?
If not, you need to watch the movie.
And by the movie, she means the way. We've walked nearly 4 kilometers, and we've really finally just gotten out of the city, or at least the outskirts and the suburbs. And we're back on a gravel path. So it is now 9:15, which is just over 2 hours later, and 11 kilometers later, and we are in Tardajos, which is where we're finding breakfast because I see a tent at the front of a bar. So it is time to eat, finally. Breakfast has been eaten, and look, we ran into Chato and Candy.
Hey, hey!
Chicago in the house.
El nombre.
Inocencio.
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 Ah, pues mira, recibe Inocencio esta medallita, que es la Virgen, ¿sí? Que Dios te bendiga en nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Bueno, gracias. No sé, bueno, lee. Recibe esta medallita, que es tu Madre del Cielo y es nuestra Madre. Que Dios te bendiga en nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Amén.
We have climbed about 300 meters over the last couple of kilometers, and we've gotten to the high point of the day. However, notice that we're at the top of the hill and there's no downhill, because welcome to the Meseta. We are officially on the Meseta now. Right over that rise on the horizon, we should see a downhill, and we'll probably be able to see the next 2 villages, the one we're stopping at tonight, Hornillos del Camino, and then the first village that we'll see tomorrow, which is Ontanas. We'll probably be able to see them both in just a few minutes. Still no downhill.
We have made it to Hornillos. We've stocked up on important things. Soap, shampoo that I use to wash laundry with, and a cold bottle of rosé.
And Hornillos del Camino is a very small little town. I mean, what you see right now in the shot is pretty much about 80% of the town. Let's go.
This town exists because of the Camino, because pilgrims walk through here. So right next to us, we have the little store.
Little market.
Yeah, you can get bread, some fruit, meat, cheese, drinks, including cold bottles of wine.
I think there are 3 albergue, maybe 4. This one is owned in part by the Estevez family. And then there's the Albergue Hornillos over here, and Hornillos Meeting Point Albergue over here.
Awesome mural.
There's a Castrojariz up the street. I think there's
2 bars, I think.
2 bars, maybe 3. But this is pretty much the whole town.
So we stayed...
Oh, there's also a, that's the Albergue in Castrojariz, is La Casa del Abuelo.
So we stayed at Meeting Point the last time we were here, and we wanted to try Del Sol, but believe it or not, when I tried booking that back in, like, let's say around March, and it's June right now, no reservations. They were already full.
I think
for tonight, the festival's starting this week, so...
I think the Estevez name contributes a lot to that.
It's also festival week, so who knows. But Meeting Point's where we stayed before. They have a fantastic communal dinner.
Only €12 for dinner?
I'm very excited. It's a chicken paella. So I'm really excited about dinner tonight. We've got some great friends that are here with us.
Here in Meeting Point Hornillos, up the stairs, I have a private room, we have bathrooms, there's a bunk room, and some more private rooms. We're at the end of the hall in room 5.
It's a...
See a little private bathroom, shower stall.
I remember, so the last time we stayed here, we stayed in room 4. It's a private room, shared bathroom. And this time, this was the only option. So we took it. View's a little different.
We have 2 windows, so we might get a cross breeze.
Yeah. I love that we have a place to put our suitcase. So, cause you know, you guys were doing our bougie Camino. We're bougie here with half Brian and half Michelle. People are thinking we're living large cheating, and you know what? I'm okay with it, because it's fabulous.
All right.
Time for shower.
I'm from Houston, Texas.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a middle school science teacher at St. Michael's Catholic School.
And how long have you been a teacher?
I've been a teacher for 3 years now.
Yeah, what's your favorite thing about teaching?
I love being the center of attention. It's so true. I get to make a plan, I get to follow through, and I get to see my students have a great time.
Why are you walking the Camino?
I'm walking the Camino because I've just always known about it. 7 years ago, my mom We did like a pilgrimage tour around Europe, so I got to see Burgos, Lyon, and Santiago. So I always knew it existed, and then I had the opportunity this year to walk the Camino and then do World Youth Day back to back, and I just said yes to this journey. The time is right, and I went full circle, full send.
That's awesome. What's been your favorite thing so far?
Getting out of the American diet. I eat, being in Texas, we have like some of the best meat and barbecue around. And I literally did a steak diet for 3 weeks. And now I'm eating fish, eating lots smaller portions, eating actually a vegetable or two. And that's been a lot of fun, actually. Awesome. Feeling healthier.
What is something you're looking forward to?
It's kind of funny, but I'm very much goal-oriented type of person. So I am looking forward to like the finish line and the certificate. Yeah. And then not using it to like as a conversation starter when meeting new people or meeting people in the Catholic circle. Like I will show like, hey, I did the Camino, and look at all my certificates, because you get a few.
You're gonna be asked to do some talks,
and I cannot wait.
That's awesome.
What's something that you brought with you that you wish you had left at home?
I brought a few. I've already left them at some of the albergues. So like I brought a bottle opener thinking, I was like, oh, I'm going to be drinking wine while I walk. That's not going to happen at all. So I immediately left it like a week ago just because it's just extra weight in my pack.
Bottle opener, what else?
Bottle opener. I have a pair of sweatpants I'm about to get rid of just because it's more added weight. I even had a guidebook, but I had like the big blue guidebook, and it was so heavy. I got it as a gift, and unfortunately that is also something that I've also gotten rid of. Probably not, but I found amazing guides to people to help me plan, and it's been going well.
That's awesome. Right. Thanks, Brandon.
You're welcome. Buen Camino.
Good morning.
Hola, buenos dias.
We are leaving the Hornillos Meeting Point here in Hornillos del Camino and walking on the way to Castrojariz.
We are. It's going to be, I think, a good day. We've got one hill at the beginning, and then, you know, us Ohio Flatlanders love that it's going to be pretty flat today.
It is going to be pretty flat today. It's also going to be pretty hot. It's 57 degrees right now. Today's high is 90, and clear skies.
Today's high is 90?
Today's high is 90.
I don't think I knew that.
But Michelle, you know what I want to do?
What?
I wish to go to the festival.
You wish to go to the festival?
The festival? The festival.
Used to develop the festival, we wish to go to the festival, the festival.
Today is San Juan's festival. The Feast of St. John is actually on Monday, but the celebration here started last night, and it goes usually for about 10 days. And we will be there was nothing here going on in Hornillos, but in Castrojariz they have fireworks, there's a bonfire, there's a special mass, all kinds of things going on. So we're excited to get to partake in that festival because it's part of our goal being here.
The festival?
The King's Festival.
Part of our goal of being here is immersing ourselves in the local culture. So we get to really do that full on today.
Well,
so, vamos.
What's going to happen? No vamos.
No vamos?
What's going to happen is we'll see how much we see, because the albergue could shut its doors.
This is true.
And if the albergue doesn't shut its doors, this is Michelle going, come on, come on, come on, let's go, let's go.
But I wish to go to the festival.
Vamos.
Vamos. Vamos. There's one really big question about the Meseta. Is it flat?
Well, there's land that's higher than my head right now. So I don't want to have a spoiler alert or anything, but the short answer is no.
It was interesting. I was reading something that was describing the Meseta like a bed, and the land is the sheets. So if you've freshly made the bed, of course, it's perfectly flat and even. But if you've used the bed, there's little hills and valleys and wrinkles in the sheets. And I really think that's kind of the way the Meseta looks, like the little ripples of the sheets on your bed. So yes, it's flat, but no, it's not a freshly made bed.
They say that in this section of the Meseta you work on the mind because you don't have to think so hard. You know, like you think hard, oh, another hill, or you're so exhausted because your body is just adapting. You can't physically overcome it, so you begin to see the open world, and you're so immersed in nature. And nature you can see for miles here in a different way than what you have been. And you can finally start to process it. So, yes, you can see for miles when it's flat, but I can guarantee you every single day on the Meseta, you have at least one hill. Look around.
We definitely have some right here in front of us.
Here's a great example of how the Meseta is completely flat until you get to a wrinkle in the sheets. Fortunately for us today, the path does not take us down and back out of that. But you can still see there's quite a bit of small hills and valleys in front of us.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far.
They say miracles happen every day on the Camino. Brian, what do you think? Do they?
I think there are little moments that are magical.
This morning, I got up and I thought, I don't need to use my arnica and anti-inflammatory cream. Miracles sometimes do happen on the Camino. But seriously, they say they happen all the time, everywhere. And we've seen some, we've witnessed the stories of others, but
Some Camino magic.
these ruins, they truly have some magic, according to the story.
So we're coming up to the Convento of St. Anton, and it's a St. Anton's convent. It was a monastery built in the 14th century, so 700 years ago, which just blows my mind sometimes. It was a really popular pilgrim stop, and it was a hospital, a hospital. So many pilgrims walking the Camino in the Middle Ages lived a very rough existence. They had very little in the way of things being provided for them, food and water especially.
They don't have the luxuries we have.
No, they don't. So they're often drinking probably contaminated water, old food that they can scrounge or whatever they can afford or was given to them. And so many suffered from dysentery and a disease called St. Anthony's fire, which in and of itself sounds horrible, doesn't it? So St. Anthony's fire was caused by a fungus that grew on rye, and then when the rye was made into bread, that fungus then infected the people who ate it, and it caused a skin disease that would eventually cause limbs to go gangrene and then death eventually. Well, pilgrims would get here to the Convent of St. Anton. So the priests here did not use rye in their bread, which meant the bread was not infected with the fungus. They also had a fresh well here with good water. So when pilgrims would stop here for a couple of days to recuperate, they would magically start feeling better and become healed. Now that miracle was attributed to the Tau cross that was cut into the top of every loaf of bread. However, we know today it was just that they were eating better quality food and resting.
The ruins are still open today. It's still an active place for pilgrims to rest. There is
no electricity here.
And really no running water. There's a water tank now.
Pilgrims, we've heard, have stayed here, love it. It's a totally different experience, and I completely understand why just visiting it.
Let's take a look. Every night after the monastery was closed up for the night, the priests would leave loaves of bread and jugs of water for passing pilgrims here in these niches so that no pilgrim would go past hungry.
Come on now and take my hand. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday. Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count. Honey, come on now and take my hand. Yeah, we only get one life. I wanna make it count. Honey, come on now and take my hand.
All right, Michelle, final answer. Is the Meseta flat?
I'm staring at tomorrow's hill, and I can tell you no. However,
I was gonna say yes. However,
the biggest thing is, like we say, we're from the flatlands of Ohio. Well, we all know that Ohio has big hills. Matter of fact, some of our favorite bike rides require us to go up and down hills, but it's not mountains, and that's the biggest difference. It's rolling and one or two a day.
Meseta means plateau. However, it's not just one giant plateau, it's a series of them. So you climb up to a plateau, walk on the flat land across it, and then go down into a canyon or a ravine. And then you climb back up. Now, our first 2 days on the Meseta have been relatively hilly, but we do know coming forward, so you're gonna have to check these out later, it does get flatter the further you go, especially after Sahagún, which is the halfway point between Saint Jean and Santiago.
And getting flatter means hotter. And we're gonna talk more about the nickname that the Meseta has.
Now, don't stop this video. We're not done yet. Stay tuned to see a little bit of the village of Castrojariz.
Oh, and you have got to see our accommodation tonight. We've been looking forward to it for a while. Let me just say, it's the name of the albergue is Ultreia.
So we have a foot bath. We have another hidden wine cellar in the basement or in the hillside of Castrojariz. And spoiler alert, we are not climbing the big hill to visit the castle.
No, I'm sorry, but there's a foot bath and a wine cellar. We have our priorities.
So let's go explore Castrojariz. We are here in Castrojariz at Albergue de Peregrinos Ultreia. And this place is pretty nifty. So they do have bunk rooms. We have a communal dinner tonight, and we're going to tour of the cellars and the winemaking. This is a press. I'm not quite sure. I'm hoping we learn exactly what for. There's a common area here to do laundry. Up all of those stairs is a foot bath, and where we hang laundry. We'll show you that a little bit later. Not walking up there until the laundry's dry. We have a private room with a private bath tonight, and it is up all of these stairs.
And there's no way to go stay upstairs to get to the laundry.
Oh, that's too bad, because we're all the way up here.
The funny thing is, we're the room of the duck, and at the end of the hiking day, we feel like we're waddling.
Yeah, we do. But before we go into our room, let me show you this.
So like I said, they make wine here, or they made wine here historically.
Oh, wow.
So down here we have a pot still
Wow.
and a condenser, which would have been used with the grape pressings to make orujo, which we will introduce you to maybe tonight, but if not tonight, soon.
Come see our room.
Big closet, don't need it. Bathroom. Now this is interesting tonight.
I turned the other light on.
In a private bathroom, this is the first time we have ever had a shower with a push button in a private bathroom.
I'd show you, but if I push the button without closing the doors, the water comes out. But I push the button like 6 times at least, minimum.
Yeah, during your shower, you have to push
And
the button
then,
about every 45 seconds.
If you don't turn on the light over the mirror, if you don't turn on the light over the mirror, it's the motion sensor light, and it turns off while you're in the shower. But
So that was a bit of an adventure.
The other thing is, so yesterday was summer solstice. So we have the longest days right now of the year, and we have a skylight right above our bed. Not only
It's only like a quarter moon, so we should be safe.
Not only do we have the skylight, but tonight at midnight, they're doing a big bonfire and fireworks and things like that. They said that we should be okay because we're far enough away from the square. But hopefully by midnight, I'll be sleeping like a rock and nothing will wake me up. Because
I'll have dreams of fireworks.
Because we don't have a neighboring room with an alarm clock that will wake us up. However, we have to be the early birds tomorrow because it's going to be very hot.
Here in Castrojariz, the Church of Santo Domingo has an interactive exhibit.
It was basically a school for pilgrims is what they called it. It was absolutely fabulous.
There were 7 stations that a couple of them had videos, many of them had interactive items that you could lift or touch or see, talking about the life of a pilgrim in medieval times and the life of a pilgrim today. And then there was also a fantastic video projection mapping program on the ceiling, on the vaults of the cathedral or the church.
And they had a booklet for you that had all the translations in it, and the videos had subtitles. So don't worry about that. If you don't speak English, there were several languages. I don't know what all the languages were. Obviously, I just know that there was English, but I know there were several. It was fascinating.
€1 for pilgrims. I think the price might have been €4 or €5 for non-pilgrims. But it looks like a great experience, and we really enjoyed it, and we'd highly recommend it for your evening here in Castrojariz.
I think it's a good, this is a good transition time in your Camino. And I feel like what I got out of it was that it provided me with, I don't know, some perspective as we go forward in transition. Also in this village, there is a place for meditation. There's a room that's just for silence. So there are some great places here to really work on your mind, which is what part of this journey is all about.